Kids must use real names and IDs. Okay, got it. No gaming from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. How about that? No more than 90 minutes of gaming on weekdays, no more than 3 hours on weekends and holidays. I'd call that pretty tough.
Yeah.
Joining us now, Tian Wang with Gamer World News. He's our sort of video game guy. Those seem like very tough restrictions to me as a freewheeling American. Why are they doing this?
So I think it's very interesting, these regulations. You know, if you look at the way China has actually been regulating the video game industry over the past couple of years, it's pretty clear that they are increasingly worried about video game addiction because it's also led to a decrease in academic performance as well as a rise in myopia in young children.
Is that
so
true?
I think that's
wait
the
a
main
minute,
reason.
Is that true? That they've discovered that addiction or frequent use of video games actually lowers scholastic achievement? Is that true? Is that accurate?
Well, it can. I mean, especially if you're addicted to it, because if you think about the amount of time somebody who's playing too many video games is devoting to that, that's taking time away from other more productive activities like scholastic achievement or, if you're older, from work.
I guess it's a form of control that we would not be used to in America.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, if you want to look at this issue in a much more, geopolitical way, if you look at Xi Jinping and his modus operandi, basically he wants to exert control over all aspects of Chinese life. And in terms of their grand strategy of competing against the United States, they make, they're very clear about trying to outcompete the U.S. in areas of advanced manufacturing, AI, and machine learning. And so to be able to do that, they actually need to have a productive user base. So I think this is where the regulations are coming from.
I got to tell you, there's a lot of Americans that I know who'd love similar regulations, but they're probably not going to get them. Just hold on for 1 second for me. I want to look about the Activision Blizzard. They posted strong numbers. The stock is actually down. Can you tell me what's going on?
Well, it's all because of the outlook on adjusted net revenue for the next quarter. They came in at $2.65 billion, just a little shy of as to what the analysts had expected. It's a bit harsh because their numbers were good. Call of Duty, Black Ops, net revenue there, especially from the amount of money derived from in-game items. They have these, these loot boxes that they can generate money from. Came in very strong, and World of Warcraft Classic also very strong.
Okay, come back in again, Tian, for a second, because I remember reporting with you that this Call of Duty Modern Warfare brought in $600 million in 3 days. That seems to be very, very strong to me, right?
Right, so those numbers are actually very impressive. Like if you were to compare that to the weekend, the first weekend release of The Joker, it actually made over twice as much as that movie. Now the thing is, though, is that Activision Blizzard's revenue has gone down. Their third quarter revenue was $1.28 billion, which is lower than it was year after year. And I think the main problem with the company that I think some investors are starting to recognize is that there's sort of a lack of innovation within the company itself. If you look at what's been happening over this year, the cadence of releases has been much slower. There hasn't been any new IPs, and even after BlizzCon, there still wasn't any new IPs. And so they're sort of resting on their laurels in a way. They had too many community managers as opposed to video game developers, and if you're in the business of making video games, that's not really a very good idea, but they are starting to right the ship.
I find it fascinating, just the size of this business here. Tian Wang, thanks very much for joining us and pointing it all out for us. We appreciate that. Thanks very much.
My pleasure, Stuart.
Let's get